What is up, podheads? Back with another episode of the Podioslave podcast. My name is Tony, joined as always by Anthony and Nate, and I didn't do something different this time because I couldn't think of anything because coming off a 60-hour work week. How you guys doing though?
Nate, you start it, man.
I mean, you got to change it up
voice.
once in a while. You got to change it up.
I don't
once in a while.
have any. I'm not creative enough, man. That's why we talk to the people who are creative.
True. That's why we do it. It's like when people say, "You guys play music, right?" And we're like, "No."
Yeah, I drum on
no.
my steering wheel every now and then.
You know what's funny? I thought of this tonight before we started recording, which is for anyone that listens to us weekly, do they have your intro spiel memorized? Because I listen to Axe to Grind every week. I listen to Joe Budden podcast every week. I know the spiels, word for word.
They definitely know it, and they're probably sick of me. Sorry, guys. Sorry, everybody out there. If you, as we've called for in the past, if you have another way to start the episode, hit me up. I'll try something new. I thought about like pulling a lyric from whatever record we're talking about. I thought about doing a pun, being a dad joke type thing, but sometimes the well runs dry, and you end up doing the thing that is muscle memory.
Well, if it makes you feel better, think about it like late night TV, Conan, Letterman, all those things. They all had the same kind of intro template. It's the foundation to the show. The rest of the show is pretty creative. Like, you got to have some kind of like, let's get through this beginning part. And we're not failing. You did a good job.
That's a good point.
We did level up the intro music. So like we hit him with that.
Yep.
And did we have, before the McDonald's toy thing, did we have something before that?
No, we just started episodes, I think.
We just started talking.
Yeah, and it took us forever to figure out who was going to do it, and then we'd fuck it up. So
the demos. Eek. Yeah, demos.
What's on the docket tonight? We're going to hit you with a perfect circle, which turned 25 this year, which is bananas. Like how? Mer De Noms, which you clicked on it. You're here for that. That's going to get, I think, the royal treatment because I know you guys go hard for that album. I ride hard for it. We're going to do a couple things before that, though.
A couple quick things. You have a question, a nerd question. And I have a Nerdery In the Wild, just so I can play the graphic.
Well, hey, let's get it started then. So I thought of this, actually, at the time of recording, Deftones' new album, Private Music, can't even think of it, came out today. And the world's going crazy about it. And it got me thinking, they were a band that blew up again because of TikTok, right? Another example of that is like Crowbar. Like the internet found Crowbar recently.
They did, yeah.
And they got a revival. So I'm thinking to myself, who from, not way back, like we're not talking like Led Zeppelin or, Deep Purple era, but someone maybe from our era, let's say the 90s, early 2000s, that is prime, that is like catered to this new generation. And I thought of one that is perfect. And I'm telling you, if this modern group hears it, I mean, it could be like Oasis level stadiums. Not really. But if they hear this band, because it fits the post grunge, like if you're a super heaven person, guy or gal, you would love them. And I'm sure a lot of people already know about this band, but the younger kids, if you're 15, you probably don't know about this band.
Well, Good Charlotte is putting a record. Is it Good Charlotte?
It's not Good Charlotte.
I know, I'm kidding. Man, that's a good question. For me, I think it would be a band. It would be a band that is accessible, obviously, right? And is maybe cryptic in spots. Maybe. No. Oh, okay.
Actually, yes. Their like legacy's cryptic, and the members are kind of cryptic.
Okay. All right. Because like that's the stuff that sells on the internet. Everybody has their own thoughts of what the music means and what the people are, and because you don't get much, right? So that's where my head would go, is to something like that. But I can't think of anything.
Little hint, Nate, you've brought them up maybe a couple times in the life of the podcast.
It's not Hum, right?
It's not Hum.
Okay.
You're on the right track though. Like you're in the world.
I don't know, man. Tell us.
Silverchair.
Oh yeah.
I'm telling you, if they find Silverchair, it's over.
Oh my God, dude. Hell yeah.
Freak show era Silverchair.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, and like, I mean, obviously not going to play stadiums, but because like they have that hype and demand already for like the diehards, and I think so. I actually put Freak Show on recently, and I'm like, holy shit, this would blow this generation's fucking ears off.
I mean, yeah, that's a good call. They, we as a group, I think the three of us would be all in for them to come back and put something out. I know they don't really do that. It's just not
No.
a thing for them. But
Yeah.
at some point, and we've said this over the course of the last couple of years, as bands have gotten back together post pandemic, and people have gone back out because they can do it on their terms a little bit more frequently than, say, being full time. This would work for them if they wanted to, and the bag would probably be pretty big too.
Amazing pull. Amazing pull, dude. Imagine listening to all of Deftones records. You're like a new fan. I think Mike Shinoda had been quoted in the last few days. We're talking about the record just being dropped. So he had said, like, the Deftones have been around forever. They're bigger than they've ever been. People are starting to discover their music kind of happenstance wise, which is great because it just shows that they're still relevant. I'm obviously not quoting him directly. I'm just kind of summarizing, but yeah, I think you're right on point with Silverchair. Like, imagine listening to all their records and just like coming across Frog Stomp, the first record?
Frog Stomp. Yeah.
Just like fucking like super emotional record, like super raw. And I think all the members in that band at the time were like in their mid-teens. Yeah. So, I mean, that alone is something to identify with. And you're right
Stomp,
with you.
Freak Show. Is it Diorama? I think
Neon Ballroom. Or was
Neon Ballroom, Diorama.
Yeah.
4 in a row, like a 4-bagger in a row, and then they kind of were like, peace.
Daniel in particular, but yeah, exactly.
Sorry, go ahead, Nate. You were saying something?
No. Oh, so what I was going to get to is when you said a Oasis type, like back from the dead type status, I think that's pretty spot on, given that they have a demand with diehards from our era. And then you get the new generation that's like, what is this shit? Maybe arenas first and stadiums to follow. But yeah, that is very plausible. It's fucking crazy because that band's been out of the picture for a long time. And the only time I have seen them is in New York City, and they played, I think it was Webster Hall. I want to call it a 1,200 cap room. Didn't play anything off of Frog Stomp, but I remember being super bummed about it. But just shows that you can go from haven't been playing for a while. Let's do a little one tour run, play like New York City, LA, and like maybe Chicago, and call it quits again, and then maybe come back around again and play Wembley Stadium. Like, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah, that's a good call. That'd be a good one. And if anybody out there in listener land has another one that from our era, if you're in our world and have come up with the new metal stuff and come up with the grunge stuff when we were little and the pop punk stuff, who would hit today? Hit us up in the DMs.
Dig deep, but don't dig too deep. Like, don't be like, hey, Marcy Playground's due for a fucking renaissance.
Hey, you never know.
Yeah, that's probably not enough material there, but yeah, cool band
for sure. So I want to hit you with that, because that was one I was like, holy shit! If there was one that checks every box for this gen, that's it. So I'm curious about your Nerdery in the Wild.
Play the graphic here. Yep.
Nerdery in the Wild.
Yeah, I was wearing this shirt, this Smashing Pumpkins Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness t-shirt, and my wife and I were out grocery shopping on a Sunday afternoon, and someone stopped me in the aisle, and they were like, do you like the band? And I was like, oh, they're gonna ask me like my 3 favorite songs. Is it gonna be one of those situations?
It's a resume check. Yeah.
And
I was like, oh yeah, huge fan. And I almost was like, we just did a full on like hour and a half deep dive, I suppose, if you want to listen to it. But I was like, yeah, no, huge fan. But it was like the 5th CD I ever owned. And she was like, do you have it on vinyl? And I was like, I do. Yep. It's sitting in my living room from me right now, like 10 feet away. And she's like, I tried to get it for my son, and it's really like the first press is like $500. I was like, oh, yeah, that doesn't shock me. I mean, that's a band that had a similar situation to Deftones, where the younger generation is kind of in on them. So my nerd card, Nerd Sees Nerd, she saw that I was wearing a pumpkin shirt, and she was like, I have to stop this guy and talk to him about it. So it was shout out that lady at the Whole Foods that Sunday afternoon. That's
awesome. Hey, me personally, I like when people do that. I mean, that's kind of why obviously you like a shirt because you wear it, but it's kind of, especially if it's a band, like kind of a niche band or whatever. I like when people like recognize it. Do you guys like it, or do you?
Yes, I wear the shirt because I'm a fan of the band. So yeah. And like, I'm not a fan of the band since 2023. Like, I'm a fan of the band for 30 years. So yeah, I'm in. If you'd like to talk about me playing Troy Aikman football in my buddy's basement while listening to it at 10 years old, we can go all day. We went for an hour and a half. So if you want to hear that, it's back there.
Yeah, no, I agree. In fact, I think we've had you and I in particular, Twan, about the fact that, like, minimalist is better, like no logos, plain. In fact, lately all I wear is black head to toe, which is, I'm not gothic, but it just works. But band tees are different, or band merch is different. Like, there's a respect element, which I always thought was cool, like camaraderie level, call it like a clutch shirt or You were talking about Deftones earlier. My nickname right was Deftones guy or windbreaker,
Yeah,
like whatever.
Deftones jacket. Hey, Deftones jacket.
Yeah, because I used to wear the Around the Fur era windbreaker. But the fact that your story is different because it's like a mother, and so like it kind of brings it full circle. Like it's not always dude to dude or even just a fangirl or whatever of the band, like, and that's kind of collaborating or not collaborating, but geeking out on said band. It's more of a storyline, like, oh, like this guy probably knows, so maybe I can get some insight from this person. So it's more, I don't know, it's more honest and it's more organic. It's better than wearing like a Nike swoosh or a Tommy Hilfiger logo. Like, no, there's a little bit more meaning behind this shirt. I'm wearing it for a reason because there's a respect level. So yeah.
So you're saying I look like a guy who knows things. I appreciate that.
Yeah, you know things, dude. You know, you have the vinyl.
Know a guy who knows a guy. Well, the reason I asked if you guys like this because I've heard of some people that have visible tattoos that hate when people comment or ask them about their tattoos, and I'm not gonna say my opinion on that, but
well,
for a music
ridiculous.
shirt,
at least with the shirt you can take
man.
it. Yeah, at least with the shirt you can take it off.
Yeah,
that's the difference there, right? Like, okay, the day's over. I'm gonna change it and wash it. And tomorrow I'll wear my clutch shirt. You know.
Yeah, the tattoo thing's ridiculous. That's like driving a Lamborghini. Like, why are you looking at me? I don't know. You have a Lamborghini, dude.
Yeah, what's your problem? Sorry, man. That's cool. I was wondering about it. You know,
cool car. Didn't even know they existed. Yeah.
Didn't think they were real.
Last thing about the shirts, I've reached the age where I only wash my band shirts. I don't dry them. They get hung up. They get room temp dried or whatever. I let them dry on their own.
Why is that?
Some of them,
they've seen better days.
Well, yeah, some of them are worth money, and I don't want them to shrink anymore.
Oh, it's the shrinkage.
Yeah.
For me, it's like the wash
yeah.
is good because you get the fade. In fact, I keep going back to Deftones. The red Deftones star shirt, I purposely like put out to fade a little bit because it was too bright red. I don't really do bright red, so I was like, I wanted it to fade. So full disclosure, purposely gave my shirt the vintage look.
So you're breaking in your shirt so you don't look like a new Jack. Okay.
Right. I mean, it's from like what?
Name 3 songs on White Pony. Okay. I mean, come on.
Even Flow, Freak on a Leash.
Good job. Yeah, that's Korn and Pearl Jam, so no Deftones there, but that works too. I know you're fans of those bands.
Spiderwebs by no doubt.
Hooray for Boobies, One Fierce Beer Coaster, and
Charlie Kilo Foxtrot, whatever.
Good book.
Oh man, yeah, we have fun here. Nerdery in the Wild, always a good time. So if if you're out there in the world and you see somebody, nerd sees nerd, go say hi, like talk to them. Hey, that's a cool shirt. They will absolutely love that you said something.
If they get pissed, it's not our fault.
Yeah, don't blame Podioslave. All right, what are we doing tonight, boys? Mer De Noms, we're doing this, right? We're giving this the treatment.
Sea of Names. Isn't that what it translates to?
Sea of Names, yes, French for that. I took Spanish, but I think I know it's French for Sea of Names.
Name 3 French words.
Mer De Noms.
Done. 1.
But yeah, we're gonna dig into Mer De Noms, the debut full length from the band A Perfect Circle, dropped in May of 2000. So May 23rd, 2000, and it turned 25 a couple months back. And then we posted about it then, and it got pretty good engagement on the internet, which is people ride for this record too. And I know we rode for it in the moment. At least me, and I know Nate and I did, but I remember going the day I went to get it. So let's hear from you guys, though. Nate, what are your first early memories of this record?
I'm going to be completely honest right up front. I was a late bloomer for the record, and I was already a Tool fan. I'm not sure why I was a late bloomer. There was something about maybe the timing. Again, it was 2000, right? So very, very deep into the new metal scene. But again, into Tool and in other bands of that vein. So I don't really understand why I put it off. But I remember liking the single a little bit, maybe oversaturated with how much stuff was on my plate music-wise. But I definitely didn't go rush out to get it. And I definitely discovered it later. And then obviously we'll get into that as we go on. But fell in love with the record head over heels. And it's a whole different ballgame now. But I wish I had gotten it on. You said you got it day of the drop?
No, I think I got it right after I got my car, so it was probably like 7 or 8 months after it came out. Okay. But it was like one of the first times I could go to the record store, and me and Andrew, our buddy Andrew, he's like, "Hey, we're going to Bull Moose." I was like, "Okay." He hopped in the car. We drove to Bull Moose. He's like, "We're buying this Mer De Noms record," and I was like, "Okay." Threw it in my CD player and was immediately blown away. Like, had heard Judith on the radio, but hadn't heard some of the other stuff, and I was just like, "Wow, this record is it's not Tool, even though, you know, Maynard's the front man. It's something different. And I, you know, it was just from that moment on, I was going to be a fan of A Perfect Circle too.
I think we all knew of Tool, but how big of fans were you? Because this was pre-Lateralis.
Of Tool? I would say that my fandom of Tool happened probably 2 or 3 years later. So like 2003, 2004 is when I really dug deep on Tool and Lateralis. And then when 10,000 Days was leaked on the internet and all that stuff, that was what, 05-ish? So I was pretty heavy into it at that point. Shout out Donnie for getting me into Maynard stuff and getting me into Nine Inch Nails and hanging out in his basement just listening to records. And this was a record that we spun a lot while waiting for some of those other records to come out.
Yeah, I think I'm probably in the middle of you guys where I say this a lot and it's all alleged. I had the burned CD and I still have the burned CD. But I think it was probably CYY playing Judith. I remember seeing the music video and it was edgy, man. It had a little edge to it. And, you know, the fuck your God and all that shit. Like, I was like, okay, this is, and I was trying to think, kind of prepping for this, if I was a fan of Tool. I knew of them, but I mean, it was, my fandom was from Lateralis on.
I remember listening to Enema with Bert. We listened to Enema because his dad was big into Tool, so we would just yank CDs off the shelf in his living room, and Enema was one. So I knew I was a little more versed in Tool, but I became a bigger fan after Lateralis dropped.
Yeah, I was playing Enema. I want to say it was because of my brother, but I don't remember. But I remember playing that record pretty often. So I remember playing Message to Harry Manback on repeat and just laughing my butt off with one of our high school buddies, Matt.
Fuck you,
Matt C. And we would just play it over and over and just start cracking up and slapping our knees like, this is so friggin' hilarious.
Yeah.
So I don't think I was interpreting Tool for what they were. It was more like, I like that track. H is cool, you know. Stink.
But this is
cool.
this is a Mer De Noms episode, so let's not go too deep into Tool.
Oh, I know. I'm just saying what I was getting to is the correlation to that or Maynard from that band, and this actually didn't even connect at the time. I don't even think it was really advertised that way, and maybe that was.
It's a question I have for you guys.
Yeah,
it wasn't.
Could they have leaned into that more?
Totally.
They didn't want to.
They didn't want to.
They could have. They absolutely could have. But they also, I think, you throw this in and you're like, other than Maynard's voice, it doesn't sound like Tool. It's not a prog rock record at all.
Yeah.
No. Well, the other thing too is this was a super group, right? And I don't think, was it advertised that way? I think we look back and was a super group even a thing back in 2000? Was it?
I think it like kind of started then.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, there was super groups in the 70s and 80s
there was
and stuff
super
like
groups
that.
Before that, but it wasn't the way we talk about them in 2025 or even like 2010.
Yeah, it wasn't like a big advertising chip. It wasn't like a marketing play, really.
Yeah.
No. It was more just, this is Maynard's other project because he's the big name, but there were, you know, very good musicians in this band on top of that. Like Billy had been around teching for Tool and a bunch of other bands around this time and had been writing some of these songs I read since like 1988. So like,
holy shit,
12 years of just kind of tinkering on some of this stuff to putting out, you know, this record and having it be its own thing, right? Like it's one thing for them to just put a record out and nobody maybe know who they are. It's quite another to have frontman from a very prominent band and then still kind of have your own thing and make it really awesome.
Well, that's why I asked about, like, was there hype of it being a super group and how, I mean, Tool was a thing, right? I mean, they were between albums and this you know, this, a lot of people, you know, quenched the thirst a little bit, but the reason it sunk in of like how big they were even back then is this sold almost 200,000 copies first week.
Oh, wow.
And again, it's a different era. You can't go apples, but 200,000 motherfuckers went out and bought this thing. That's a lot. And it debuted number 4 on
how many were Tool fans that were disappointed?
Oh, that's a good point. And then you had me who did not support the scan. But I was listening. Still listening.
Well, even when you say supergroup though, like there's so like, and even Tool, obviously Tool was a thing. Like you said, it was I hate to say it, brand. They were big, but I want to say Enema era, they were still kind of theaters, small arenas, not stadium, definitely not that stature. And they were so and they're notorious for this, taking such big breaks in between that you kind of lose your momentum sales marketing wise, that you're almost like restarting every time. Although Tool's a different animal now more than ever, but I'm talking this era, I call it 98 to 2001. And then the supergroup element that we're getting into, I have to say, like, it's a supergroup in retrospect, but then did anyone think that? Because you got to think, like, there's a guy from Failure, right? Josh Freese is a session guy, obviously amazing drummer.
But the Failure was for a cup of coffee, and it wasn't even like recorded, really.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, it started with Tim from Primus too on drums, but only right up until they went to make this. He plays drums on the Hollow, and that's it on the record.
Yeah. Okay. And then you got Paz, who I think this is like probably one of her biggest projects before she joined Pixies for a while later.
You nailed it though.
Yeah.
Nate. Like that's like how big of a thing was it? You know what I mean? I think it's more so in retrospect.
Retrospect and just kind of in that circle, like, hey, these are friends of friends, and hey, we all kind of hang out, so let's just do a band. But they are a supergroup, but like, I don't think it could be marketed that way because, like, hey, what? This guy was in Failure. This guy was
not in 2000.
Yeah, exactly.
It would have been today, but not in 2000.
100% today.
Exactly. That's kind of my point for sure.
But it's a record that I think a lot of people preferred over Tool because it was a little more straightforward in its songwriting, right? It's not super meandering. There aren't a lot of really long, drawn out ideas on this record, especially. They do it a little bit on the next one, but they don't really. It kind of just comes at you, and it's got all kinds of different, bells and whistles as far as music goes, but it's not what Tool is at all. So it was good. It was, he's in between records. They're like, let's go make this. And he'd been friends with Billy. Billy was living with him. He's like, let's start making music together. Like, why not? And this was the output. Like, I wish they'd started sooner.
That's a good question. If they'd started sooner, would people have been ready for it? They probably maybe would have wanted another Tool record. And the other thing too is it didn't sound like anything at the time either. Like it was a departure from Tool, but
and new metal.
Anything at the time that sounded anything like this? Like I'm pretty sure I saw this on MTV2, Judith.
Oh,
and
that
at
makes
the
sense.
time, that would have been new metal.
Very new metal at the time. Yep, very new metal and some of the pop punk stuff and boy bands
and boy bands
and Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera, right?
And then you get this maybe on its own. I don't even know what was like, however you want to classify this, we'll just call it alt. And the alt world, what even was there in 2000? I can't think of it really because
Deftones.
Yeah. Right.
Not to bring it back to Deftones, but
and you're right. There was the Maynard connection there. Although I think he's since been like, I don't even know why I was on that.
But he makes the song. But whatever, different story. We've done that episode too. It's back there. Go check it out.
But yeah, it was something unique, and it was even, I think there was a uniqueness there. I would imagine even for a diehard Tool fan.
Agreed. And as someone who got into both bands pretty heavily at the same time, if I wanted the Perfect Circle vibe, I would go there. If I wanted the Tool vibe, I would go there. And I loved that they both existed because I couldn't have enough of both. Like I wanted it all.
Yeah, I think the only similarity between, with the exception of the obvious elephant in the room being Maynard James Keenan, is the fact that like Tool, and I think my hesitation to like dive right in with a Perfect Circle out of the gate with the single was the fact that like the music is so complex sonically that you can't just jump in. And again, I had to revert to the whole like era. It was 2000, so like Limp Bizkit, like all the new metal stuff. Not to say that that stuff is easily digestible, but it was kind of digestible because it was so just in your face all the time.
Yeah.
Whereas like this, just even the artwork, and we'll probably get into that, but like the artwork for this album, the lyrics, just the overall vibe, like it's a really very much so like a sit down and pay attention record, which, in 2000 or what, like 15, 16, that's a really big task, a tall order. So that was part of my hesitation was like, as a nerd, because I think at that point we were nerds, like I need to like delegate time to this record. And I still feel like that today, to be honest. I mean, I play it when I feel like it's appropriate because it's just not a casual listen. In other words, it's so good that you have to really like be ready for it. I don't know.
You should
really
be paying attention. Yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
You should, exactly. There's so much going on. So yeah, little nerd tangent there.
Well,
yeah, that's why we do this though.
Yeah, I mean, at the stage they were on was, we'll call it the big leagues, right?
Yeah.
At that level, the big leagues, most of the time, I'm not going to say this for everyone, most of the time, the end game is to move units. This was just pure artistry.
100%.
Was any of this made for a single? I think they picked the most likely candidates, but this is artistry, and this is like, I know this is so cliche, but like, what an era to be alive. Like we were there for that when it came out.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You know,
you're absolutely right. It was not, and they were in the big leagues, and because of who they were and where they had been prior. But this record wasn't put out there to have a hit single, to make people go and buy it because of the hit single, and the rest of the record's kind of fluff, or there's maybe one or two other good songs. Like, no, this is put it, press play on the hollow, and we'll see at the end.
See on the other side. Yeah. Crazy. It's a good way to
I
put
like
it.
what you said, Anthony, because actually that probably frames it perfectly, because it is so artistic that if Maynard wasn't as big as he was, this might just have been some indie record that you were lucky if you heard it type thing. It's just so
True.
And you got violins in there. It's like very orchestrated, and like,
yeah, shout out Paz on the violin.
Paz on the violin. It's just like there's layers in this music that really don't make sense for it to be anything mainstream. It's really just too complicated for the casual 16-year-old to just be like, this sounds cool. There's some pretty heavy drop D guitars, but with that, the exception of that, like, this is very much so. I don't know. It's very emotional.
That's a good point, Nate, because when this came out, we were 16, right? 15, 16 years old. And it was too complex for my 15-year-old brain, 16-year-old brain. And, at times it still is, but it's so much more appreciated today, especially having done exercises like this with other records. I texted you guys earlier tonight that we've done a bunch of these, right? We've done album deep dives. I'm upset that I'm listening to a record 4, 5, 6 times to get ready. This is the one that I was like the most excited to put on again. Yeah. Every time I was like, yep, gonna play it again. Yep, gonna play it again. Like, oh, I've got 5 minutes. I don't even care if I listen to 3 songs. I'm just gonna listen to whatever I can and then jump back in when I can the next free minute. And this is the first time that I've had that happen doing this exercise.
Yeah, it's like akin to like I don't want to make this comparison because it's pretty deep, but it's like a movie that's so deep and dark and long and not necessarily great to talk about because the subject matter is so deep, like a masterpiece film like Schindler's List. Like it's so deep, it's not just a surface level movie. It's like, man, we're talking about the Holocaust here. Like, this record is on that level where it's like, dude, there's a lot of layers here, lyrically and instrumentally, where it's like, we got to peel it back a little bit.
The analogy king's back.
I'm not even just saying this. Before you went into the movie analogy, I was thinking movies. Mm-hmm. And I was thinking of a movie that was revered at that age.
Yeah.
And the first movie I thought of was Schindler's List. And then
no way.
Yeah, I swear. But I was like, yeah, that's the kind of a stretch. Where I landed in my head was something like Shawshank, where maybe you don't appreciate the intricacies, but you kind of get the overall theme. Like with this album, you can appreciate it sonically, you can appreciate it musically. You're probably not connecting with it lyrically. That comes later once you're older. And maybe with a movie like Schindler's List or Shawshank, mm-hmm. the cinematography hits, the acting hits, but maybe the themes and, maybe some of the dialogue doesn't hit. But I'm with you. It's and you know what? That's a sign of something brilliant where mm-hmm. it doesn't even have to all hit and it still connects with you,
know? Yeah, it's a captivating thing. It's like, I don't even know really, I don't fully understand this, but it's kind of has me in a trance right now. I'm not really sure why. Schindler's mm-hmm. List is obviously very much, it's about the Holocaust. So like, no matter what, you're just kind of stuck in that terrible, tragic part of history. Whereas this record is not necessarily translating that, but it's Maynard's words layered with some fantastic instrumentals that are just, it puts you on a ride. So I think the fact that you had that same connection is phenomenal.
And they know how to play well together. Maynard's words, vocals, and the music, and their songs that are absolute classics, absolute all-time songs for me on this record. Three Labors being maybe my favorite song of all time. So I can't not get feelings listening to that song.
Let's get into the album. It can be anything. Observations, tracks.
I have a bold statement that I told you guys I was going to tell you tonight. I saved it for the pod.
Ooh, let's go.
Let's do it.
I think this is Maynard's best vocal work.
100%. I had it on my list. I said I think it's Maynard's best vocal performance, and I said see an old episode. I think I said that on the pod before, but I agree. I think it is.
It's so good. He just hits every piece of his voice, and he's at the top of his game. And the words are really good too. Like the lyrics are I can relate to some of it, and I absolutely love the way that he delivers it. He's got this ability to go from really kind of heavy and angry to very melodic and soft, and it all pulls you in. And then this record it's all completely on display for him, and he sounds amazing. He just sounds amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I was always hesitant to say that it is my favorite work by him as a vocalist and songwriter, for that matter. But I think it's just right place, right time, age. He could still reach the notes. Not that he, well, yeah, I don't know if he can now. Just a perfect lightning in the bottle moment. And I think I do agree. I used to always tell myself like, oh, I really like Tool, but why do I like Tool? Or why do I like Maynard's delivery? It's because of those like really harmonic, deep lyrics where he's actually singing. Those are my favorite songs. That applies to Smashing Pumpkins too. I like the ballads better than the bangers. And in some exceptions, Deftones. I love the slower Deftones songs in some cases more than the fucking heavy, headbanger songs. So, but Maynard's voice is just so good. It's like, we're like lucky that he took a stretch and said, you know what, I'll do a side project. Fuck it.
He didn't call it a side project though.
He didn't call it a side.
I can't call it that. Yeah.
Yeah. And in some cases, I listened to this record and wish that he had done just a whole record solo or just a perfect circle record where it was just all three Libra type songs, because his voice is just so beautiful. And his songwriting is just so phenomenal. It's like poems on poems. So yeah, I agree with both of you. And I was hesitant to say that for a long time, but I agree.
I'll take it a step further. I think it's the best Maynard album of all time. Like, I mean, granted, I'll caveat this by saying I have maybe heard 2/3 of his output. Mm-hmm. I think this is the best album he has ever been on. I'm all in on this album. And actually, I'm going to like call myself out here. I love this album. I think it's standout. Love it, love it, love it. It's the only Imperfect Circle album I ever listened to.
Oh, wow.
Okay. I've never checked out 13 Step, or what was the other one? The two others there.
Emotive and then Eat the Elephant.
Emotive. Yeah. And then Eat the Elephant. Never heard them.
Oh, wow.
I would tell you to listen to 13th Step. And Emotive's cool because there's a couple of covers on there that are eerie and awesome, and a couple of originals that are awesome. Passive was a tapeworm song, I say in quotes. And that was I remember listening to an old live version of that our buddy Donnie had. And when it finally came out as an Imperfect Circle song, we were like, oh, the anger is a little less in this version of it. But
oh, man.
I would tell you, if you like this record, Twan, you'd like 13th Step. 13th Step is all time.
That's great.
Nice.
Hell yeah. Especially the first half of that record.
Which is kind of interesting because I ride so hard for this album, but never just... I mean, when did 13th Step come out? 04?
Yeah.
I think it was 03.
03.
03. Yeah. We just listened to so much music at the time. It makes sense, but...
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the nice thing is it's still there, and you can listen to it if you'd like to. And maybe someday you will, and you can report back to us.
And we'll do this for, 25th anniversary at some point?
Couple of years, yeah.
Little nerd sidebar tangent. I don't know if this is true, but I thought it was a cool, just geek moment that Trent Reznor gifted that song "Passive" to Maynard James Keenan as a wedding present, allegedly.
Oh,
which I thought was kind of cool. Like, to gift a song that they work together, like, basically you can have the rights to this song.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that happening. I could see that happening. Yeah. And that's a cool song too, but it's on a different record. And we saw him live not long after that came out.
Yep.
And did you see him at all at any other time? I only saw him the one time. The other time was a show regret. They played Portland in 03, and I couldn't go because of work. And as a 19-year-old, not going to a concert because of work is the dumbest thing you could do. I should have just gone to the concert because fuck my job when I was 19. Who the
just
fuck cares?
Go.
Yeah.
Go to the show.
If you're 19 and listen to this, go to the show.
Always go. Always go. Hell yeah. Did I ever see them other than the time we saw them in Boston? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
I did see that Civic Center show in 04, 03. I can't remember.
I think it was fall of 03.
Yep, it was. I think it was October or something. Great show. I remember James Iha show ended and he just went on the mic and was like telling jokes for like 20 minutes, like after like curtains went up and all the band was off stage and everyone's just like looking at him like what's going on here. trying to think if I've seen him any other time.
Back when bands would put a record out and then play Portland, Maine. That doesn't fucking happen anymore. So
Yeah.
This is a pretty big act who's coming off of their, coming off their debut that was massive to come play Portland 3 months after the record comes out. That shit doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Was it Civic Center?
It was Civic Center.
Wow.
Yeah.
8,000 cap. I don't know how many tickets sold, but off one album at the time.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Well, they were dropping 13th Step.
It was off,
right?
Promo on that one.
It was right around that time. Yep.
Yeah, I think it's just those 2 times, which is tragic because I do remember living in Portland, Oregon for a hot minute, and they were playing this record, 13th Step and Emotive front to back in Seattle, and I was going to take a drive with my brother to Seattle to see this record front to back. We didn't make the trip. I was like, I'll pay for the tickets. We should fucking do this. It's definitely a one-off, or it was a one-off tour, but they only played select markets. We didn't do it. But that was only the only few times. And again, Perfect Circle didn't tour that much, so it was hard to see them. But I remember the show, and the show we saw in Boston was very unique. It very much reflected like the ethos of the delivery of the record, which is like Maynard. Like, he always does this, but
Except
he's like
for 3 Libras, but yeah.
He's like behind a curtain, and the band is kind of in the dark. Very much fit the theme. So I always thought like the live show representing kind of the delivery of the record was always cool for them. And that's a Maynard. Or
did they pull like a Gorillaz thing?
Kinda. Yeah. I mean, they weren't in costume, but like Maynard's never in the spotlight. Yeah.
Yeah.
You just see shadows? Like, what's going on here?
It was pretty dark on stage, yeah.
Kinda, yeah.
And it was an amazing show. I mean, don't get me wrong. I was bummed by the direction they took 3 Libras, because that song doesn't need to be changed, but
I remember that.
Neither here nor there, and it is what it is. But if you listen to the live record they put out, Stone and Echo, that was, I think, Red Rocks, I have that, and I listened to that this week too, and it's a similar set to what we saw. So I got to kind of relive the show that we were at, which was cool because it's one of my favorite bands, and we got to see him. I got to see him at least the one time. I wish I'd gone to that other one, but this episode's already had everything. We've had Deftones, we've had Tool, we've had Nerdery in the Wild, we've had Show Regret. I mean, what else are we gonna pull out?
Can I throw something else at you guys?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so we love all kinds of music. We love ourselves a little Thursday, the band Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
Tucker Rule, drummer of Thursday, he's been on this podcast a bunch. What does he do at the beginning of Understanding in a Car Crash?
Oh, I know
the 2 snare taps, right?
The 2 snare taps. What does our boy Josh Freese do at the beginning of Judith?
The same thing.
The double tap.
The double tap.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn! My head exploded. I'm like, who's gonna do the triple double tap?
Who's next?
But what a way to intro a song! Oh my god! Talk about setting the tone. And like live, obviously I've never seen them, but I can only imagine when he hits that, or whoever's touring with him, when he hits that, you know exactly what the song's gonna be. And I'm sure people go off. But I thought, I listened to, leading up to this, I listened to that and I was like, shit, it's the double tap.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Doesn't he do it with the Hollow as well? I think. Can't remember.
Yeah, it's a little more into the riff, but the riff in Judith is all time.
Yeah.
So you get that double tap, and then you get the riff, and it's full energy from the crowd, because that song is just a great rock song.
Oh, dude, he leads with a fill.
Oh,
I mean,
do.
Only Josh Freese.
Do. And then Unwritten Law, he used it for Unwritten Law.
Yeah, we just called Josh Freese up. He came over and was like, here's this thing that nobody knows how to play. Good luck.
Dude, Josh Freese full circle moment, opening for 9 Inch Nails on the Fragility tour in 2000, toured with Perfect Circle, and is now again the drummer for 9 Inch Nails once again.
Crazy, right?
Fucking awesome. Yeah, very cool. He should be on the pod anytime now, hopefully.
I would love to talk to Josh, because he has been a part of so many either shows or records that we love. This being right up there.
All right, we mentioned the Hollow. I'm going to throw some randomness at you.
Yep.
All-time opener. Like, what a way to open a record. And that could have, instead of Judith, the Hollow could have been the first single.
Totally.
And I think it would have hit maybe just as good, but it's kind of dark and moody, and it just sets the tone. And that's what I want. Like, we always point to like Glassjaw, Tip Your Bartender. Like, I want that energy. And I think that's this song on this album, and that was the right place for it.
Well, it's like, it's got a little moody kind of dark undertone to it too, and the lyrics are awesome too. But the music from that song is a cool way to open a record. It probably wouldn't be the opener if anybody else made this record. They'd probably bury it at like 7. But the fact that they opened with it was, I think it was the right move. It's a great opening track. But I could see a lot of bands being like, that's a cool one, but we should like put it at like number 8.
Yeah, just thinking of like the promotion of this record, because I worked for Virgin EMI for a hot minute. I was interning, but they pushed this record, and I'm like, fuck, how do you market a record like this in this time, in 2000? It's just so front and left to center in every possible way, with the exception of the fact that you have someone like Maynard James Keenan on here fronting the band.
Well, to piggyback on that, I think that's probably why they chose Judith for the first single, where like that's a handshake Tool fans.
True.
I mean, is that the closest thing to Tool on the album?
Yeah, it's
It's a peace offering to all the Tool heads out there, all the Tools.
He ends up writing more about that, what that song is about. It's his mom. He ends up writing more about that on 10,000 Days. I mean, the name of the record, 10,000 Days, is about his mom. So if you dig into all that stuff, like it definitely fits. It tracks with some of the Tool stuff that comes after this. So you're right. It's a good handshake.
It's a good hand job for Tool. For Tool.
Yeah, it's a good message to Harry Manpack.
I'm like going through the track listing, trying to think if there's anything that's as conducive. Maybe Thomas.
Yeah, Thinking of You's cool. That could have been a good one, but it's a little kind of sultry to start.
Yeah,
I don't know that another one could start it. But let's dig into another couple tracks here. I'm gonna go with, Orestes is all time. It's so haunting. The vocals are perfect over it. It's, if Three Libras didn't exist, this would be one of my favorite songs of all time.
Did you take my notes?
No, but it's amazing.
Well, you want me to read my notes?
Go for it. Yeah.
Orestes, all-time song in caps, just haunting.
There you go. Yeah.
This is my favorite Maynard. I like this more than the Passenger feature. I like it more than I Know Your Army. I like anything Maynard. This is the track for me. Close your eyes and just listen to that song. It is beautiful. It's an all-time.
So good.
I don't know. It's a top 50 song, 40 song, 30 song. I don't know. It's up there.
Yeah. No, I think, was it one of you guys that sent like the guy that covers this on YouTube? And it took that for me to like bring this song to another level, because I always thought it was beautiful, both vocally, instrumentally, and just delivery wise. And then seeing someone cover it, you almost like oddly have a different appreciation for it. Like, oh, it's not just like this song. It's like a very like detail oriented blueprint of music theory in every possible way. And again, like I said at the intro, like we don't know music. Like we love music, but we don't play music. We've never written music. I'm speaking for myself primarily here, but like this really is like the prime example of like what it takes to make like are we going to say it's a perfect song? Possibly.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Although the lyrical content is quite heavy.
It is heavy. Yeah. For sure. But when you said close your eyes and listen to it, like it takes you for a ride for sure. This is one of those few songs where you don't have to like heavy music. You don't have to like alternative music. You don't have to like music in general. But like if you listen to the song and there's nothing else going on, you're going to feel something for sure.
This song, but then overall, this record is a great late at night headphones, don't have anything distracting you record. And this is a peak song for that situation.
Peak. And then they hit you. Do you want to get into Three Libras?
Yeah.
They go Judith Orestes, Three Libras. I mean, that's, I don't know who's topping that.
Nobody. I could talk Three Libras forever. If it's not my favorite song ever, it's top 3. It depends on the day. I love just the feeling it gives me. It's one of those, like, we've talked heavy therapy. It's been a while. We're going to bring back all the things tonight. So we've talked heavy therapy in the past. This song is a heavy therapy song. Like, it just reminds me of so many, like, things that were going through my head as a 16-year-old, as a 22-year-old, when I was into this band really, really heavy. This was my jam. And, you know, you grow up, you get over it, and everything happens for a reason. But in the moment, it just spoke to me. And I still get those pangs when I hear it. And it's not that I want to relive some of that shit, because it's not all great. But I love that the song was there for me, I guess, is really the point. It's probably why I have such a connection to it. I also love Maynard's explanation of it. Do you guys read that at all? See that at all?
No.
He called it Three Libras because he said, I know a lot of people that are Libras and I want them to fight over who it's about. And I'm like, that's taking the power back right there. I fucking love that, because he was in I mean, can only imagine somebody writing those lyrics was in a similar situation and, you know, was looking at a relationship that wasn't going to work and being upset about it. but like I'm not gonna fucking tell you who you are. Fuck off. Like I'm taking the power back. You guys fight over who it is. I love that. I fucking love that.
Hey, I've never met Maynard, but that tracks.
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
So it's funny, it's not funny, but as you were saying that, I had the intro to the song playing on my phone just to kind of relive it. And what you said, if there's a way we can get away with it without getting striked or whatever, if you play the music behind what you're talking, Tone, it just it fits, man. It's
so many feels.
That's the Shawshank Redemption correlation. It's like
Mhm.
it's narrating a scene in your
Narrating,
life that
yep.
it was a life preserver in the moment. Yeah, just the vocal delivery alone. The chorus, you don't see me at all. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I almost at tears every time he gets to that part. Like, fuck, dude.
They were on the Tonight Show around when the record came out, and that video's on YouTube. I watched it tonight. I've watched it probably, I don't know, 50 times. Great performance of it, and if anybody hasn't checked that out, it's very easy to find. I mean, there's a bunch of live versions of that, but that version was really cool. That they hit everything, and you could tell they were very much a tight band already at that point.
Just the instrumentation, it almost it feels like a soundtrack to a movie.
Yep.
Like it's so intentional. And while you were talking, I was like, I don't know who else could have delivered those lyrics, and it delivered the melody and lyrics, and it would hit like that, because it's just he's one of one. And the three Libras thing, I'll never forget that. That's amazing.
It's so good. I've heard it a couple places, and it just makes me laugh every time. It's like I was out there, I was vulnerable without being, transparent about what was going on in my life, but there were people that I couldn't get to, and fuck them, they can figure out who it is. I just love that. I love that attitude about it. It's like, I'm taking this back. This is mine, and I owned it, and it was maybe a life preserver for him. Who knows?
That dichotomy of him as an individual is fascinating, because like these lyrics, Tool and A Perfect Circle, are so deep and meaningful, and then his personality.
They are, but they're vague enough that everybody can take them, and that's a sign of a really well crafted song, right?
Mm-hmm. But like to your point, like his kind of like tongue-in-cheek personality out of the frame of like this creative is so polar opposite that it's like, who is this guy? Like, who the fuck is this guy?
Well, I was reading earlier today that him and Howard wanted this to be the first single, but it was the execs, or what label is this on? Virgin EMI, you said?
Yeah, yep. And it was probably too slow to lead with, right?
Exactly. It was too much of a departure from the Tool world.
Mm-hmm.
So you're like, how do you market it? Well, that's kind of all you can do. It's like, let's prioritize it. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, like, it is a departure, so you got to work with it. You know, what else we got? I get something for you guys.
Yeah, sure.
The optics and the band name, all time.
Yeah,
like the band's name, A Perfect Circle. The imagery looks like as Nate says, parentheses.
Yeah.
It looks like parentheses. So it's not a perfect circle, right? And I think the name makes you think, like, what is he talking about? How did you land on that? Why is it so simple yet so brilliant? The artwork, it's funny, and I'll say this, I'll keep it real. This album artwork and like the booklet and stuff rules. The other releases by them stink. Eat the Elephant, Emotive, 13 Step. I mean, is that a banana? What is that?
It's like a slug, I think.
I know.
Yeah, it's a banana slug. I think it's
a banana.
Yeah.
But yeah, we say,
this is the best one,
albums that everything was firing on all cylinders. This is one of them. Everything about it. Everything.
No, good point. Optic wise, it's like a Lord of the Rings book. Like the subject matter is so intricate, and then you have to have the optics and design to fit that. I don't want to call it narrative as much as just storyline. So this was like a masterpiece. Everyone was on board. Everyone was like, well, this is the direction we're going in. Great. Well, we're going to do this. We're going to have some symbolism. We're going to have this is the logo. What do you think of this draft? No, let's keep going. All right, this is perfect. Actually, you know what? Go back to the first edition. Yeah, just those two half moons. Perfect. Bam. So I think this was very much maybe not. This is an observational standpoint, that it was all hands on deck. Everyone's agreeing on everything until we're ready. Whereas maybe the rest was like, we'll focus on the music. You guys do the marketing, and we'll just put it out. Whatever. Again, observational standpoint. But in other words, what I'm trying to say is I agree with you, because I think this record down to the artwork is so symbolic of the actual songs themselves. It like goes back to like a Led Zeppelin. Like, well, it wouldn't work if it wasn't that way, because then it would take away from the songs. You have it
100%.
has to fit. If it doesn't fit, then it's not that it's not authentic, but it just takes away from it, and that's always shitty. Anytime we love a record and the album cover sucks, I'm going to call it Papa Roach on this one. I know Tony loved Ride for this record, but like Love Hate Tragedy, that fucking album cover blows. You know,
Yeah, it's tough.
The record rules. So like it does take away. So again,
It can. It absolutely can.
It can, for sure.
But when everything is dialed in, like it is here, it does bring everything up a notch, right? Like if the music's good, okay, awesome. And now the optics are good, okay, cool. And then every piece of what they do, whether it be rollout or live show or any of that stuff, it all works. And the album art is a big piece. When it works, it just brings everything up a whole notch.
And it's subjective.
The name's
Everything we're
too.
saying is subjective too, but I think if it's timeless and fits, then it's undeniable.
Well, my test for that is when I listen to the music and close my eyes, what's the visual that I see? I in my head, and it's probably influenced by what the album artwork actually is. It's dark. I
see all that.
It's that. But again, it's tough for me to say this because I haven't heard the record, but like 13th Step, when you close your eyes, are you thinking banana slugs? No, I think it's a distraction.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah.
You know,
you're going full nerd brain, but like the funny thing is, I actually do agree, because when I pull out that record or play it or whatever, I'm like, it's true. Yeah, I try to disregard that album cover.
Yeah, that record's still good though. So I would tell you that don't judge a book by its cover. There
you go.
I mean, songs like Blue and
or a record,
The Noose.
Yeah. Oh my god, the package.
After this, play the package, Noose and Blue after this, and you'll be like, oh, fuck,
in the dark with your headphones on, eyes closed. You'll feel the same way.
Pretend it's the Mer De Noms optics.
Yeah, actually, yes, do that. It might work.
You know, it's like the people that sniff chocolate then bite an apple. It's that, you know.
That's exactly it. Great point. Can I give Billy and Paz their flowers? We've given Josh his flowers. We've given Maynard his flowers for 5+ years. But sure. Billy's guitar tone on this record is immaculate. The guy can play the guitar. He sounds so good. There's elements of songs that are heavy and the riffs are there, and then there are elements of songs that are haunting, and then there are elements of songs that do both. And it's a great just display of what he's able to do playing guitar, and the feel he's able to give you, not just the music. And then Paz, the bass lines and stuff on, like, Thinking of You, that bass line's so sick.
Yeah.
Man, it just sticks in your head. And there are a couple other instances too, but that's the one I come back to, that that song almost doesn't fit on the record, but it does too. You know what I mean? So, I just want to give them their due too, because we love Josh Freese. We've talked about him a ton. We've talked about Maynard a ton, but I love Billy. And I like Dash's Divide that came out after this. And then, 13th Step is a record that I ride for, and I like the emotive record too. So Billy is a great guitarist.
I'm happy you gave the flowers, man, to be honest, because, well, I guess anyone listening to this probably knows this, but this is actually his band at the end of the day. He pitched Maynard on this, and he was Adam Jones' guitar tech, I think, for Tool. Mm-hmm. So he was just a tech, you know what I mean? Not to say that it's a small role, but like he wasn't in a band. I think he probably played for sure, but like he just had a vision. He really wanted to put something together. He asked Maynard as like a favor. I think he said, can you do some guest vocals? And ended up being the vocalist full time. But, imagine being like on the bench per se. This obviously, I'm not downsizing what he's doing, but like, and watching this amazing, well dialed band like Tool as a guitar tech. And you're like, fuck, I want to do that too. And I have visions, and I write when we're on the tour bus, and I want to do it too at some point. It'd be cool. But like he has his own sound, and that sound is this record. It's not anything but like it is Billy. And I worked at a venue back out in California where he did play, and he played solo, and like his solo music is reminiscent of this for obvious reasons, because that is his sound. And I think we've talked about it on this podcast before, to have your own sound as a guitarist, in my mind, as us casual music appreciation people that don't play guitar or any instrument for that matter, that's crazy to have your own sound and this late in the game and being like, oh, that's Billy's sound, or that's Slash's sound. So he had that and was able to pitch it to someone like Maynard and to get a band off its feet and to this level is really kind of a unique story. It could be its own movie in a sense, like, hey, like anyone can do this. You really just have to have the balls to go for it.
I've been writing these songs for 12 years. You wanna take a stab at singing them? Holy shit, these are fucking amazing. I want to be in the band full time.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, the other thing with Billy is he produced the damn thing.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't know, had he done production work before this? I don't know.
Probably some, I would imagine. I mean, been around it for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, had to give them flowers. All right, what else do you guys have? What other observations do you have about this record?
I would say I have just a general question about the band. Would you say they are underrated, overrated, or properly rated?
Damn.
It's a great question.
Because like, take that what's that 3-headed monster tour? It's
the Santa tour they just did.
Santa.
Yeah.
Who, is that like a rotating headline? Who headlines that?
I think they all just come out and play song. Like they're all on stage and they're playing some songs, and a couple people will leave stage, and then they'll play some songs from Primus, and then a couple people come out and they'll play Perfect Circle. I think that's how it went.
Right on. Okay. Because where I was going is, to me, I would think Primus is the bigger name of those three, like objectively, but I think APC blows their doors off. Like I think APC, and it's driven by this album, is underrated collectively.
It's hard to say. I think in today's terms, they're absolutely underrated. I think in the moment they were properly rated.
I think you're right. Just even they have on the Civic Center in Portland, Maine. Like that's
yeah.
Yeah.
People, they had a very large moment in the early 2000s, right? Like this record, then the follow-up were both pretty big records. So as big as rock records were in 2003. But as far as where they're at today, they're not dormant, right? Because they're playing shows. They haven't put a record out in a while, but like there's some stirring in the camp. There has been a little bit in the last year or two. Billy's done some solo stuff. Maynard's obviously all over the map, depending on could be wine, could be Tool, could be nothing, jiu-jitsu, whatever he's doing, right? But like I do think that we'll see more from them in the near future, and like I'm all in for it because I do think musically they are underrated overall, probably.
It's a great question. Where my head goes is interesting because how do you rate a band in terms of their relevance? And it hits multiple categories because we're fans of music and we go about that in multiple ways. If you want to see them live, where are they? Where are they on the scale of popularity? Are they playing clubs, theaters, arenas, or stadiums? Well, I don't know where they're at in that map because they're so inactive. It's really hard to say. And I think even as a band management, you'd have no fucking idea. And that's probably why Maynard's like, I'm going to throw a birthday party for myself and everyone's going to be on the bill. If a Perfect Circle wanted to tour today, they would have to probably go on some pretty strategic metrics, call it Spotify, who's signed up in their fan club, who's searching for them on Google, so call it SEO, like a lot of things to be able to put a proper tour together that wasn't going to flop, call it the Black Keys over.
The infamous Black Keys.
Yeah, it's the greatest example of all time because it's like you can't overshoot, and if you underdeliver, you're really kind of showing your cards. So with that said, where does the Perfect Circle stack up? Are they underrated or overrated? I don't really know. I know that they definitely have a very dialed fan base, but even back in the day when they were in their heyday, like we said, they were hitting on all cylinders for this record in particular. They were the opening slot for Nine Inch Nails. Given Nine Inch Nails was a massive band.
They were brand new. They had to be.
Yeah, exactly. But then even like, and again, another call out to Kerrang! Magazine, like I would look at what they're doing in Europe.
Right, all the hits tonight, baby.
Exactly. I've been a while
in real time, baby. Let's go. In real time.
So I would look at like the ads, and this is like kind of a good way to very nerd brain gauge like how is this band doing overseas. So they would be opening for Deftones on the 2003 release, self-titled. In Europe, Perfect Circle would be opening for them even on 13th Step for self-titled Deftones back in Europe. So
Deftones have always been bigger than Perfect Circle, though.
Big, but you got to call it 2003. I was seeing Deftones at the Palladium in Worcester. So like,
yeah,
you know,
at the Axis.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So like, how big is a Perfect Circle? It's really hard for a fan to gauge, and for management, I think it's equally confusing. Like, fuck, how do we do this? You know.
So that 5-minute diatribe, Nate doesn't know is his answer.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm equally confused.
I was like, land the fucking plane, bro. You just don't know. It's okay.
I'm going to land the plane and say, I think they're underrated today. And I think they were probably properly rated then. If they were to drop a record today, non-Sacenta, Maynard J. McKinnon's birthday celebration tour, If I were them, I would say let's start in theaters and do a run.
Yeah, they could.
Yeah, I mean,
they could do
I
that.
think they could fill 2,500, 3,000.
Yeah.
That world, like a big theater type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they when they put Eat the Elephant out, they played Portland, and I couldn't go. And another one of those times that I was at work, but at least then it was my career and not some fucking shoe store.
Where was that at?
At the Civic Center.
Really?
Oh, interesting.
It was a Friday night in like September. I want to say like for whenever Eat the Elephant came out, not long after that. So yeah, they were still and maybe it was a half house. I don't know. I didn't go, but I could see it being what they've done in the past at the Civic Center, where they move the stage up a little bit and they sell 3,500 tickets, and that's a good number for them still at that point, especially at this point in their career where they've been around for so long.
Yeah,
and you know the radio situation is not the way it was when Mer De Noms and then 13th Step came out.
Yeah, it's like we're gauging it on touring because that's kind of the only thing left.
It's
yeah,
the only like that and monthlies, but like monthlies are bullshit too sometimes. So
with all that, what's the legacy 25 years later?
I would tell you that in the moment, the 03 to 05 range, I liked 13th Step more, but I flip-flopped.
Wow.
This record is the better record. And it's not that the other record's bad, but those two records back to back are awesome. This record hits so many different feelings for me. It brings back so many memories, good and bad. I can remember when I got it. I can remember the relationships I was in. I can remember who I was hanging out with, what we did, shows we wanted to go to, all that stuff comes flooding back with this record. A little bit with the other one, but more with this one. I think this is their best record, which is I mean, it happens a lot, right? Bands put out their first record and it's their best, but it's not like these were new musicians per se. So it's an amazing record. It still holds up today. It's one of my favorite. It's got one of my favorite songs of all time. It's one of my favorite front to back records of all time. I'm all in.
I'm with you. It still holds up. It's I think it's probably better now. I'm with you. I think it's better now than it was back then. True artistry. Like this is a classic that I think you give your kids. Like this is the classic. We said the movie analogy. This is the classic movie from the 80s, classic movie from the 90s that I think could hit in every era. And even if you don't like the style of movie, you'll get something out of it. And I think it's in this case, it's Maynard's voice. It's, you know, the cryptic lyrics. It's the whole package. And yeah, and actually, I think it's a super group in hindsight that lives up to the hype. Most super group albums stink. So that's my that's my stamp.
There's your hot take. If you take nothing from this episode, it's that Anthony thinks supergroups suck.
Oh, wait, what who did I? What group of people did I call?
We're named after a supergroup.
What group of people did I call losers? Oh, if you hate on nostalgia, you're a loser. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Most super groups suck.
I love it. Deep in the episode, so nobody sees it.
God damn, that's so funny, man. Because like, yeah, in the moment, I think it was a little complex for me. I think I said that right from the jump, and thinking then as a young kid, like I need to carve out time for this record. I think I don't think I can just casually play this in the car. And I think that holds true today because it is that complex. I look at this record as a masterclass in how you do it. And when you said this is what I want to give to my kids and say, you know, if you want to check out music from my era, this is something you might want to check out. That's cool because like I used to get that from like people handing me a Pink Floyd record. And there's a lot of music that came out in that era, but Pink Floyd is really kind of like visceral, and if you want to play guitar, like you should learn what David Gilmour is doing here, you know, because he's playing guitar in a way that really resonates with a lot of people, but in a way that's not just cool. It's like real artistry. And I think that's what this record is. And I think that's what what we're trying to say here is like, this is not just a casual listen. It's not just music for the sake of being music. And for the era that we were in, especially, music was like, again, new metal. Like there's a lot of stuff that was like good and that we're still massive fans of, but like I don't think I would hand my son that because it's like it's cool if you like that.
You're not gonna give him significant other. Come on, bro.
I mean, I will, but if I want to be like, if you really want to get it, this is it.
I know. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Yeah, like if I'm gonna pull a comic book or am I gonna pull an encyclopedia? This is the encyclopedia. Like, dude, dig in this book, read a chapter every day, and you're gonna be like, wow, music's really cool. Like this is fucking. I understand why you guys did a podcast on music.
Yeah.
This is like a pinnacle Rushmore album for the podcast because it really resonates or really encapsulates like why we fucking do this, because we don't know anything about music theory, but something like this record is like a fucking scientific textbook. Like, I don't even want to be in school right now. I want to skip class, but this shit's cool. I'm down.
Well,
Nice.
You know what made me think about
That's
it?
great.
Where like this, it is like artistry, but you don't have to be an artist to like
Exactly.
absorb it. And what brings it kind of home for me is the passive aggressive Maynard. There's a human element behind this whole facade. There's a human element.
Yep.
And that's what I connect with too. Like I love
Same.
the Maynard and Chino fucking lyrics from outer space, but you backdrop it against, I know they're human and they kind of give you a peek behind the curtain. I kind of like that too. Not too much though. I don't want to know, like,
Yeah,
I don't want to
you don't
see
get everything.
I don't want to see Maynard eating his his Fruit Loops in the morning, but see him doing that. But if he can tell me that he's passive aggressive with 3 levers, I'm in.
I mean, that's right up my alley.
Let's go.
I don't think I'm a passive aggressive person, but I love that that like sentiment for people who have wronged you. Like, I'm not gonna give you what you want. I'm not gonna give you what you want. You've taken enough from me. Great record, and it's a record that does kind of encapsulate what we are as a podcast, because it does so many different things that we love collectively, and how we kind of all come back to the center on different things. This is a record and a band that, you know, especially in this frame, we all can kind of vibe with and be down to talk about for an hour.
On that, mic drop it. Nate, I thought you were going to say you liked the Orestes demo off the fucking Japanese version better. Peace.
Maybe not. We'll never know.
Cheers, drones. Oh, I mean, peace, potheads.
All right. Cheers, nerds.
Mer De Drones. Sea of Drones. Peace.
Thank you for listening to Podioslave. We are at Podioslave on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all of the places that you can find us on social media. Facebook, Podioslave Podcast. YouTube, Podioslave Podcast there. Email us at podioslavepodcast@gmail.com. And hey, if you want to become a supporter, click on the link at the bottom of the episode and give us $1, give us $5. It keeps the lights on, keeps us going. We really appreciate that stuff. Thank you.